How's it going, everybody? It's Alex here with Alex Velty Music. Today we're going to be talking about how to export stems from a mix to a final stereo wave file for mastering. So I'm putting you kind of in the perspective of the mix engineer right now. You're done with your mix and you're ready to send it off to master. How do you do that? So this is basically what we're going to cover today. First step that I would say is to take a look at your master bus, and my advice is that you leave this stuff off. Maybe you put something like a compressor or a limiter to kind of wow your clients, or to kind of get a good, just something to send off to them pre-master to get them to approve it. They love it. It's great. But now that you've done your job and you've wowed them, it's best, in my opinion, to leave the stuff like the final limiting and volume levels to the mastering engineer. And some of this is going to mess with the way your files export. If you absolutely have to leave it on there, by all means, if you need to, do it. But my recommendation would be to trust your mastering engineer. That's what you're paying them for, after all. And just leave this stuff off here and be happy with your mix and just send it to them. The next thing I would say to do, we're going to select all of these files. This is what I do. I actually set a loop. That way I can make sure that I'm kind of exporting a whole section. And this just kind of gives me confidence that it's from the start to the finish of whatever I need, from 1 to, it looks like 89 here. So now I've got that selected. I'm going to go up to File. And rather than the whole export thing we did last time, we're just going to go down to Bounce. I'm in Logic, so it's going to be in Bounce. Okay, I'm going to bounce the project or section. As we can see here, I've got this PCM selection. Don't select MP3. Be sure to read or check out my article on lossy and lossless MP3 and WAV files to understand a bit more about this. But basically speaking, if you export this as MP3, your mastering engineer is probably going to ask you to send them a WAV file. But I can look here too to see that yes, it starts at 1 and goes all the way to 89, just like it did over here, even though you can't see it from this zoom. But yes, so that's what we've got there so far. Keep normalize off. We don't want that on there. Wave format's great. AIFF is great too. Okay, let's talk about these guys. We won't go too into depth, but you should be aware of them. I'll cover them more deeply at another time. Basically speaking, I just tend to set these at a 24-bit depth and a sample rate of 44.1. A lot of people will argue, oh, well, you want to go to the highest sample rate you can, or you want to set this, at 32-bit float, which that's actually fine as well. But something I'll tell you is that really when it comes down to it, you are not necessarily improving or degrading the quality of your audio file. It's not going to magically become more amazing if you export it at a certain one. For me, this is kind of the sweet spot. And even too, when your mastering engineer gets done, they're probably going to bounce it out for distribution at a 16 or 24 at 44.1 or 48. And so that's something to be aware of. I'll go into more depth on that another time, but you can just kind of keep this right here for now. Interleaved, great. Don't split it into two, like a dual mono thing. You want to keep it interleaved as one stereo wave file. Dithering, again, this is another one of those things that you can kind of be scared of or argue about. My opinion is just dither. So just when in doubt, just dither. A quick note though, if you do 32-bit float in Logic, it will not let you dither. But since I'm in 24, it's going to let me, so I do dither, and I recommend that you do as well. So this is my setup. Feel free to hijack that, to use it as much as you want. It works great for me. Okay, so now at this point, I am going to go to my mixes. So I've got folders for everything. Stay organized. Please stay organized. And that's about it. I'm going to bounce it as a WAV file, and I can upload it to be sent off for mastering. So hope you all enjoyed that and that you got a lot out of it. As always, message me, talk to me. I want to be here for you guys and be able to help however I can. So thanks so much, and I'll talk to you next time.